Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. What a day of Australian Open action it was, and what 2 days it has been. I'm just talking to you after Medvedev came back from 2-0 against Felix Auger-Aliassime. Aliassime played his best match of his life, I'm pretty sure. Everything was working for him. Medvedev looked frustrated. He was the usual pretty bitter self when things don't go his way. But like Djokovic, he dug in there. He just kept, believing that he could turn the match around, and in the end he did. Very rough loss for Auger-Aliassime, but I think you can take a lot of positives out of this tournament. So that's the positive part. But it was clear that that Medvedev is kind of Djokovic style player. He just fights so hard even when he's not playing his best tennis. So that was the last match of the day, 5 sets. Impressive match, and one of the best matches of the tournament. The match before was more of a runaway, complete bulldozing of Stefanos Tsitsipas, who played his best match of his life maybe as well, because it was just so impressive how he had no problems whatsoever, won in straight sets against Jannik Sinner. I thought this match would be tight, but it was not even close. So just all-out aggressive tennis from Tsitsipas. Looks super strong. I mean, he said afterwards that his doctor didn't think he would even play the Australian Open, and now he's in the semi-finals facing a familiar foe in Daniil Medvedev. So that will be a lot of fun to watch that match, and we'll see how tired Medvedev is and how pumped Tsitsipas is. Looking at how Medvedev has struggled a little bit in some matches, I would say that Tsitsipas is on pretty equal footing. I would say 60-40 to Medvedev. I'm going to predict that Medvedev win in that semi-final, because I believe Medvedev would win the tournament all along. But I could see Tsitsipas come out firing on all cylinders and just win that match. But we'll see. We'll see. That's the fun part. We also had matches yesterday on the men's side. We had a dramatic encounter between Berrettini and Monfils, where Berrettini just looked like the clear winner, 2-0, was kind of running away with it. And then Monfils just started playing and played some good tennis. Berrettini got maybe a little bit nervous. Monfils won 2 sets. It's a 5-setter. The odds were kind of now in Monfils' favor. But as you know, I mean, he has struggled mentally. He also stated this after the match, that this is something he does. He makes mistakes. He said he makes judgment errors and decisions that are not so well thought through at critical moments. That's what he said himself in the press conference after the match. And Berrettini was the stronger player mentally in the end and won the 5th set. And that means Berrettini, he's pretty solid when it comes to reaching these kind of last 4 of Grand Slams. And a guy definitely that should be in the consideration for even winning the title. But yeah, it's still tough to see him beat Rafa Nadal, who actually also had a really topsy-turvy tough match, but against Shapovalov. And Nadal was, fantastic in the first 2 sets. Then something happened, the heat got to him. It was a very hot day even for a guy of Nadal's fitness. And then he was just like calling in medical timeouts, touching his stomach. He had something was off. Shapovalov, used the moment, won 2 sets. It was a 5-set shootout, 5th set. You think that Shapovalov is gonna take it because he's like on the momentum. Rafa is not 100% well. And then he just disappeared, Denis Shapovalov. He was not there anymore, and he just played like a junior in the last set. And it was very strange to see that performance where he played so well set 3 and 4 and just completely fell off the court. And Nadal, mentally ultra strong, like Medvedev, like Djokovic. These guys, they keep winning because they know what it takes to win, and they won't give anything to the opponent for free. And guys like Chapo, maybe Auger-Aliassime, they struggle with this last piece of the puzzle to winning a match, also Monfils. So it's clear how mental tennis is, because this was all mental, I think, in these 5-set matches. Who got there in the end? It wasn't tennis ability, it was about the mental approach. And the Rafa-Chapo match had also some drama, because Chapo thought Rafa took so much time in between points. This is the usual thing with Nadal. He does take a lot of time, it can be frustrating to watch. And obviously there's a shot clock or a serve clock, and the serve clock is 25 seconds, but it depends on when the umpire starts the clock. So when players complain about slow time, it's not about the clock itself, it's about when the umpire starts the clock. And Chapo told Carlos Bernardes, the umpire, who actually, you know, he and Rafa actually had problems in the past, and he said that he was too light on Rafa. He actually said that your guys are all corrupt or something similar, which was not very smart to say, and is in the heat of the moment, of course, but still he needs to think a bit about what he says, and saying you guys are all corrupt is not the best way to treat an umpire. I don't know if he's gotten any fines afterwards or if they just kind of let that slide, but it's definitely a remark that could get fines. And Dennis didn't really apologize afterwards. He more said that, you know, this was not, you know, the way he intended it and so on. But yeah, keen to hear your thoughts. Do guys like Nadal, Djokovic, Federer get preferential treatment from the umpires, or is it something they've earned if it happens, or is it something that we need to change? Chapo was very frustrated. He broke his racket after match point. I mean, I can understand the way he played in the fifth set was not any way near what you need to play to win a Grand Slam. So he has some work, especially in the mental department. Tennis department, it's pretty much all there. Both Auger-Aliassime and Chapo, great, exciting players to watch, but the mental side is still lacking, and that's clear why they lost their matches. So we have Nadal Berrettini in the other semi-final, and that's a tough one, a really tough one to predict. Nadal has looked solid, but then he had this now physical ailment in this match. I don't think it's something that's going to bother him in the semi-finals. It seemed more like that on the day thing, and he had 2 days to rest now. He has had 2 days, so my prediction will be Nadal, and we will see a Nadal-Medvedev final on Sunday, and that would be really exciting. But we'll see. But Berrettini can definitely hit Nadal off the court if he starts, you know, hitting his serve well and his forehand is firing. But Nadal is very good at picking on players' weaknesses, and he will definitely find Berrettini's weaker backhand over and over again. So keen to see that matchup in the semi-finals. So that's the men's side. Let's now move over to the women's draw. Like I predicted previously, Ash Barty has had no issues in this draw. I mean, some people complain that she's too good, not fun. I cannot say that. If you're too good, you're too good. And 6-2, 6-love against Jessica Pegula was not a huge shock to me and shouldn't be to anyone. Ash Barty is the best player of the tournament. I don't think there can be any discussion really until we've seen her in the final, maybe lose, but I don't think she will. So Barty through, she's playing Madison Keys, who really blasted Krejcikova off the court with some massive power. And this match, Keys-Barty, will be an exciting one. It's definitely a deserving semi-final. Keys is playing the best tennis in many years, if not ever, and Barty looks super confident. I will predict Barty, as I've done all throughout the tournament, but I think this can go 3 sets, because Keys has the power to blow Barty off the court if she can just find her A game on the day. But a good match that is. Then we have Danielle Collins, as I predicted, beat Alice Cornet. Very impressive performance. Collins really hit her stride, played aggressive tennis, super fired up, pumped, really impressive ball striking and a lot of winners. So she looks to be in supreme form, Danielle Collins. And the result in the end was 7-5, 6-1. And she will play Iga Swiatek, who had a pretty bad match actually against Kaia Kanepi. She didn't play her best tennis. She had to dig in and do the Medvedev style and then just make sure to get through and get across the finish line despite not being there quite in her best self. So very impressive by Swiatek, since her style is so based on shot making and aggressive, taking control of the point and so on, that she could actually win 4-6, 7-6, 6-3. Well done to Swiatek, who's now playing Collins. I'm going to predict Swiatek. I thought she would reach the final early on, so I think Swiatek Barty is a great final. Danielle Collins can be a threat to Swiatek, but yes, I think she is the mentally and also technically more gifted player, Swiatek. So Swiatek Barty in the final, if my prediction is correct, and that will be a great one as well. So super exciting tournament so far on both the men's and women's side. So many good matches going down the wire, impressive tennis, just a feast of tennis really. And there's also some doubles action to go. Kyrgios and Kokkinakis playing tomorrow, really crowd pleaser that one. So lots of great tennis, and I hope you're watching the Australian Open. Who do you think will win in the end? What are your predictions for the semifinals? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to support the work I do, check me out on patreon.com/tennisnerd, and also buy something through the affiliates. The links are in the description. Top Court, Tennis Warehouse, Swing Vision, and so on. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.